Hello and welcome to the class. What we're going to be doing today is running through abdominal work for us ladies that may be suffering with some incontinence or a prolapse or potentially even both of those things. So it's really important that we want strong abdominals, but we need to be mindful of how we're going to work them. So we'd much prefer to work them in a way that's going to help us out rather than potentially make our incontinence and make our prolapse worse. All right, so that's really important. Come down onto your mat. What I'd like to do is start off on hands and knees. Now, if you've been with the mat app for a while, you may have seen me do these exercises throughout all of the normal classes. I always scatter them out throughout the normal classes because it's important for every woman to do this stuff, whether they've got incontinence, prolapse or not. In that position, let's tune into our posture. So head isn't heavy, it's lifted up. Same with the chest, it's not heavy, it's pushing up and away from the floor. My hands are trying to imagine that they could spread the mat out a bit wider, so straight away my upper body is switched on. I then bring my attention down to my tail and I just visualize my tail flicking up a little bit, my sit bones widening, and as I widen my sit bones, my legs naturally slightly kind of feel like they're almost rolling inwards a little bit. Yeah, from the outside you probably don't see anything happening, but I can sense that spiraling of my thighs going on. Now keep those things happening and just beginning to rock forward and backwards with the breath as our focus. So I'm going to breathe in and out. See if you can go in and out through the nose for me, just for the purpose of really resetting the body into its most natural way of moving. So in and out through the nose is the natural breath pattern that we should all be doing day to day, okay? We may sometimes explore other breath patterns, but that's just for specific exercises. Let's go 3 and 2 and 1. And then come back to where we began. Tuck those toes under. And all I want you to do from here is get that sense of hovering the knees up and down. So I'm going to use my inhale to lift my knees up and down. Continue. We keep the hands trying to pull the mat apart. We keep that idea that our sit bones are widening and therefore our legs are feeling like they're kind of slightly twisting inwards a bit. Remember, that's more of a sense, a feeling, rather than seeing your knees come together. And as we're doing this hovering and this lifting, we're starting to bring awareness to our abdominal area, feeling a lovely zipping action from the base of the pelvis right up through to the base of the ribs and even beyond, through your chest, up through the front of the face, out through the crown of the head. Very different. And maybe have a little go with me. What happens if we tuck our bum under, pull our belly to our spine and then lift? Okay, very different. For us, this is not the way. We need to try and think a bit more of that nice, what we call our whole woman posture. Natural posture. 2 more here. And if your back is taking any strain, then you're trying to flick your tail out too much. Okay, you're trying to widen your sit bones too much. This is the last one. So you can always adjust from there. And then just drop back, give your wrists a little bit of a roll. So that's a great way, even just that's a modified plank. Great way to just draw things in, load things up, but without loading them up too much and in the incorrect position. So from there, lying down on the back, we want to look at, rather than doing a sit-up or a chest lift, we want to think more of maintaining this position down through our torso and using the weight of our limbs to challenge through our abdominals. So if you bring your left leg up, bring those arms up for me, and then shoulders are down, tail is heavy. We stretch the left leg and the arms away. That's our inhale. And then we bring them back to the center. I want you to notice here that as your leg gets further away, as your arms get further away, you've got this real feeling of lengthening out through the torso. Now, when you pull the knee in and the arms in, try not to just flop the lower back down. See if you can maintain that feeling of length of the torso. Go again, reaching it, inhale, and exhale. Now, if that feels pretty awesome for you, float your right leg up as well. So you've got both legs at tabletop, but you keep doing exactly the same movement. Left leg and arms. Inhale through the nose, reach away. Exhale, comes back in. Now, think of your leg and your arms. They're pretty long and they get pretty heavy. So the further down I go to the floor, the harder things become. Unless I rest on the floor, and then it's pretty easy. So if you need to modify things, you just change your range. All our body is a whole lot of levers. You've got to figure out which lever to pull and where you should take it to. Last one here. And then let those legs come down, have a moment. I always like to just let my hips just rock and roll a bit. Because if your back's not used to maintaining that position, you just have to give it a little bit of a rest every now and then. Okay, right leg is up, arms are up. Connect the shoulders into the floor. Feel the weight of your tail dropping down. Inhale, reach it long. Thinking of that lovely zip. Exhale, resist coming in so you don't kind of collapse. Inhale, reach it long. It's always good to do a few with that left foot down just to get the range without having to work very hard. Just setting up your form. Last one. Okay, and then let's see how we go. Can we float that left leg up? If not, that's cool, keep it down. And then go, inhale, right leg long, arms are reaching, and straight away, whew, I feel that connection, that strength into my abdominals. And again, zipping right from the pelvis, zipping, zipping, zipping right up. And reach it back in. In breath, go back. Exhale, come in. And then inhale, go back. And then exhale, come in. I feel like there's got to be one more here. Inhale, go back. And then exhale, come in. Hug your knees. It's a nice way to, again, just release through the body. Okay. So you can feel it. You didn't even have to lift your head up, and we get a nice, strong stomach connection. Allow those legs to be up at tabletop. Once more, you can do this with both feet on the ground if you need to. Bend those elbows and take the arms out to what we call a goalpost stretch. Here, on the inhale, literally lift your left butt cheek up. Rock over to your right, pausing before your left shoulder comes off the ground. And then feel the abdominals work for you as you bring yourself back to the middle. So we're going to twist. I feel like my back's about to crack there. There it went. And then come back to the center. And then again, twisting. And then center. Just move my battery pack here. And then twist. And center. So once more, the abdominals, the obliques, working for us without putting the wrong load onto our pelvic floor area. Twist and center and twist. And there's heaps of variations we can do, but for today we're just going through some of the basics so you get to get a bit familiar with it. Let those knees hug in. Placing your feet down on the floor. This is just another little rest. Drop your knees from one side, hang out there. And then drop your knees to the other side and hang out there. Alrighty, legs are back in. They're up at tabletop. The arms are reaching over the head. And let's just keep the arms over the head. With the legs now, start to tap one foot down. And then as it lifts, take the other leg down. So once more, the weight of the legs is there to draw up. And I'm using the reach back, the constant reach back of my arms to challenge things a bit more. If you bring your arms down by your side, it's usually a little bit easier. So play around with that. Reach it back. And then if that's all good, then you can always add more of a challenge with two legs. So as I breathe in, I let my legs go down to where I can control. It's hard, but I can control it. And then we lift. And again, I'm reaching those legs down and then I'm lifting. The inhale floats our legs down. The exhale catches our legs and brings them back up. Remembering one leg at a time is absolutely fine. And then last one, 2 legs is obviously heavier, harder. And then both your feet can come down, arms are down, lift your bottom up and down just a couple of times to give it a little bit of a release. All right, bring yourself up and turn yourself over onto your side. Alrighty, here we go. So another good way to work through the abdominals, and we've got to think, remember the waist is part of it, is just by doing some side lifts here, some little modified side planks. So top hand can be on the hip, bottom elbow is going to be right under that shoulder. Now feel like you push the elbow into the floor as your waist lifts you up from underneath. And then you can let the hips just lightly kiss the floor. So we're going to go up on that inhale, and then we're going to come down on the exhale. Now the arm can do whatever it wants really. I just like awareness of my hips here, so that's why I keep it resting. We're conscious of our posture, not allowing the body to go into this fetal-like position, okay? Lifting it up and down. And again, under the forces of gravity here, this is a great, great way of still being able to work our stomach. Let's do that once more. Up we go. And down. And then all we're going to do is change sides. Yeah, this exercise could be done with one leg straight, with 2 legs straight. Again, options are endless, but let's just find those basics today. Elbow under shoulder, hand on that hip, lengthen it out, and then let's go up and down. So it's this underneath side. That's what's pulling you up, as if you had scaffolding underneath your waist. And again, breath in through the nose, lift it up, and then coming down. Breath in through the nose, lifting it up, and then coming down, and then up, and down. 2 more. Lift, and down. Keep that chest broad. Last one. And down. And then just simply sit up. So quick recap, ladies. First things first, if you're going to do some plank stuff, modify it, bend those knees in, and start to just do little knee hovers, okay? If you're wanting to do some abdominal work, or if a class has some abdominal work which is lying on your back and it incorporates any sit-ups, any chest lifts, then you can add in just some leg movements with some arm movements as a great option, okay? And then obviously just what we did on the side there, we did some side lifts, side planks, plus I totally forgot, you're lying on your back and we did some rocking from side to side. That's also going to be targeting those obliques, okay? So all of those things definitely have the tick of approval. Keep in mind, we are all really different. If one thing suits you one day and then not the next day, that's actually normal. So don't be afraid to give something a try and then know, okay, I'm going to pull back on that one today, and then try it again next time. Still not great? Okay, that's no problem. Pull back again. It's all about, as I said, it's kind of like pulling together your own personalized toolkit, and we're going to just give you little ideas along your journey that will suit you now. And then what will happen is, as you progress and as you change and as your body changes, then what's going to suit you is going to completely change as well. As always, please reach out. Let me know if you have any questions, and I'll be back with another 101 session really, really soon.